Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today's video is gonna be all about food. I hope you guys are ready for it. I got a lot of requests asking to see what Jackson eats in a day. So if you guys are new here, just a little background. First of all, hello, welcome. My name is Kayla. I am a mom of two. So I have Jackson, who's my 1-year-old son, and I've got Riley, who is my 3-year-old toddler. Today we're focusing on Jackson and what he eats. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna just take you guys along with us on our day, show you what Jackson eats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I'm also gonna give you an extra option or another meal idea for each of those meals. So I hope that you guys are here for it. I hope you guys are ready and excited. I have a lot more videos like this planned. I filmed what Riley eats in a day, so I have to still edit that and get it up for you guys. But definitely make sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss that. And if you guys see anything and you have questions or you have any requests for things you'd like to see in the future, definitely make sure to leave those questions in the comments section. In addition to videos like this, I do a lot of like just motherhood content here on my channel, and I do like daily vlogs. I take you guys along on the absolute craziness that is having tiny little humans. A 3-year-old and a 1-year-old is definitely rough, but we're surviving, we're hanging in there. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you do, and now let's just get right into it. All right, so the first meal that we're gonna start off with is breakfast. So this is just what a typical breakfast looks like for Jackson. Today I'm gonna make him some eggs, and then I've got some toast and some fruit. Jackson always has fruit with his breakfast. It's like one of his favorite things to eat. So when I make Jackson his eggs in the morning, I keep things really simple. I just throw a pan on the stove, I get some extra virgin olive oil, and then that's what I cook the eggs in. Most mornings I'm making eggs for myself anyway, so I just like add an extra egg to whatever it is that I'm cooking. But here, the day that I filmed, I wasn't having eggs, so I just made him the one single egg. I will say that a couple months ago when we started baby-led weaning with Jackson, we didn't season a lot of the foods that we would give him. Like, we kind of stayed away from a lot of salt and pepper, but now when I'm making him his eggs, I will season it. So I put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, just to make it taste a little better. So on this morning, I made him some eggs, really quick and easy, and then I also chopped up some blackberries, and then I'm also gonna make him some of that toast that I was preparing. I'm gonna put a little bit of butter on it. I could also put some peanut butter on it. Like, I could kind of switch that up. I am gonna be honest, I'm gonna let you guys know that bread still makes me very nervous in terms of Jackson choking on it. So whenever I do give him breads, I do like to toast it just so that it's not like soft and mushy, and then I will chop it up into little pieces because it just makes me feel better. I'm also giving him a little piece of cheese. This is just like some Gouda cheese that I picked up at Aldi, but Jackson loves cheese, so I just wanted to give him a little bit of something that I knew that he would enjoy, and this is just my way of continuing to introduce some of those foods that I know that he likes. So that's what his plate looks like. Now to see if he even eats any of it. Okay, yummy. Got you. So the very first thing that Jackson always goes for whenever I put a plate of food in front of him is the fruit. So I'm not surprised that on this day he was eating the blackberries. The other thing I did want to point out is that yes, I do give him milk with his meals. So this is probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6 ounces of whole milk. I try to give him organic whole milk 3 times a day about. I think the doctor said that I should be giving him about 16 ounces a day of whole milk. And Jackson so far has really enjoyed it. So I'm glad that that's something that I don't have to like worry about getting him to drink. I'm also going to mention it because I know that I'll get questions about it later. So I'm using this plate that doesn't have suction right now only because I'm trying to teach him and like get him used to not like totally spilling the plate like he's about to do. So sometimes I'll start off like presenting him his food in the plate, and then when I see that he's about to go buck wild and like make a mess, then I'll just put it on his tray myself. But I do have like a bunch of bowls and plates that have suction that I really like and really recommend. So I'm gonna leave a link down below in the description box to my Amazon storefront. Look for this section that's called baby feeding. I have listed there like all of the utensils that we use, his high chair, anything that I've bought from Amazon for the kids for eating, like anything that I think might be helpful, I have listed there. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And this is what his tray looked like when he was all done. He's a very slow eater. Sometimes it could take half an hour, 45 minutes for him to finish. And yes, I do let him watch his iPad when he's eating, so don't come for me if you're not into that. But this is what his plate looked like just to give you a better idea. He does not always eat all of his food, but something's better than nothing. And I did want to give you another breakfast idea. So this is just really easy. This is just like a waffle cut up into little tiny pieces, some little maple syrup. I think that's cantaloupe, and just some whole milk yogurt that he really likes. So that's just another idea if you're looking for more breakfast stuff. And now we'll move on to lunch. So lunch has probably been one of the harder things for me to come up with like stuff to feed Jackson, only because he's giving me a hard time with like the protein situation. So I'm gonna try to give him some chicken, some peas, a little bit of fruit, some cheese again, and some applesauce. So you see, here's one of those suction plates that I do like, and I'm using this because I'm giving him applesauce, and there's no way that I'm gonna give him applesauce in a bowl. He's just gonna totally just flip over and it's just gonna land on my floor. This applesauce is one that I buy at Aldi, and both of my kids really like it. I buy an unsweetened applesauce just because it's a little healthier. There's not as much sugar in there and all of that. And then these little spoons are the spoons that I give Jackson to practice feeding himself with, and he does really well with them. The next thing I'm preparing here on his plate is just some of that grilled chicken. Again, not the most ideal thing. It's like quick and easy chicken that you can just pull apart. Sometimes I will put it in the microwave for like 5 or 10 seconds, but it's not freshly cooked chicken, but whatever, you know, it's what I had in the fridge. Here I'm giving him some of Riley's leftover cheese because I had made Riley eat some cheese for lunch, and she doesn't like cheese, but I had made it into like these little flowers with this little food cutter that I also have listed in that Amazon storefront. So what I didn't use for Riley, I just gave to Jackson because I knew that he would like that. And then I'm just putting some sweet peas on his plate. Jackson really likes sweet peas. Surprisingly, both of my kids, even though like they're kind of picky, they do like their peas. And I have gotten questions about like how I make these peas. Literally, I just take them out of the can and then I'll drain them, and that is it. And then once they've been open, I just put them in the refrigerator, and then I serve them to them cold or room temperature, and they like them both ways. So this is what his plates look like. There wasn't enough room in these like tiny little plates, so I ended up having to give him 2 plates. And I did give him some fruit too. That's some pineapple and some cantaloupe or some honeydew. And I don't always take Jackson's shirt off to eat, but because I was giving him applesauce, so if I'm giving him like yogurt or applesauce or something that's a little messier, I will just take his shirt off because it makes my life easier later on in the cleanup. So yeah, Jackson's really funny when it comes to the spoon. Like sometimes he will pick up the spoon and eat like he's eating now. Other times he kind of digs in with his fingers and he's just like a savage and just puts everything in his mouth. But we love these spoons like I mentioned before, and they're just really easy for him to pick up. And we've been practicing this for a while, but I do every once in a while like to let him try to feed himself. It is a little bit messier, but you know, this is how he's learned that skill. Something else that I found interesting this day that I was recording him was that he doesn't use a fork yet. He only uses a spoon for things like cereal and yogurt and, you know, applesauce like this. But he did kind of take his spoon and put it into like the fruit. So he was kind of trying to pick up other pieces of food with the spoon. So I don't know if here, maybe in the next couple months, I may start giving him the fork, because this little set comes with the spoon and the fork, seeing if he can maybe start to learn how to like pinch the foods. And then this is what his plate looked like when he was all done. He's been giving me a really hard time with chicken. He just doesn't want to touch it, but he did eat a lot of his peas, the fruit, so this was a win. For another lunch option, this is what Jackson had the next day. For lunch, I gave him some strawberries, some sweet potatoes that I had roasted the night before, and then also these little like spinach and rice balls that I broke apart that I'm going to show you how to make now. So I will leave the recipe for these down below in the description box. I think I pulled this recipe out of one of those toddler like eating books that I highly recommend. I'll have it in the description box too in case you guys want to check it out. I have 2 books that I usually make recipes from. One that's more for toddlers, one that's more like baby-led weaning. But both of them are great and I would highly recommend picking those up. So all I'm doing here is I took some frozen spinach and I'm just chopping it up into little pieces. I'm also trying to take some of the moisture out, so that's why I was putting it on the paper towel. Next up, I'm shredding up a little bit of cheddar cheese. I didn't have any already shredded in a bag, so I had this block of cheddar cheese. So I'm just putting a little bit of that here so I can mix that with the spinach. And then you have to beat 1 egg just to mix that with the rice that you're gonna put in the bowl and all of that. I'm telling you, this recipe was super easy and I think that it came out really good. Riley's over here in the kitchen helping me mix everything together, and I'm loving that she's like more and more interested in cooking these days. So I'm just gonna add some of the spices. I think oregano, some garlic powder. It wasn't a whole lot of things, but I'm just gonna mix everything together. And then the only other thing that you have to add in there is some brown rice. So I'm sure I could make brown rice from scratch, but you know, it's me, I'm not gonna do that. So I took one of those like 90-second brown rice bags that I had gotten at Aldi. I think this one might have some quinoa too. And I added it into the bowl, stirred everything up, and then we're gonna bake that in the oven for a bit. And then this is what they look like after being in the oven. I think that they make for a great lunch or dinner. Very easy to make. The first time I gave them to Jackson though, he didn't love them, but I'm gonna keep trying. So now we're gonna move on to dinner, and dinner has been probably like the easiest meal for us because what I do for Jackson for dinner is I give him exactly what Joe and I are having, and then I add like some fruit and stuff. So on this night in particular, I had made some tortellini with some pasta sauce, and I just gave him that. And then I gave him some raspberries because he loves raspberries, like he devours them anytime I put them on his plate. And then I also sprinkled in that other eyeball of this super cute little mat, which I'll also be including in the link in the description box. These are the easy peasy little mats, by the way, but anyway, they're really cute and you can like make little faces and stuff. But in that other eyeball, I just sprinkled a little bit of shredded mozzarella cheese because Jackson loves his cheese. And then I chopped up the tortellini into little pieces so that I'm not like terrified that he's gonna choke on these. And that was his dinner. So for his dinner, I wanted to give him a little bit of water, and I hadn't washed his milk cup, so I just gave him this little, I don't know, it's like a stormtrooper cup that we had gotten at Target. It's a little bit like too big for him to use, but he's figured it out and he sucks out of that straw, and I just like to try to give him a little bit of water throughout the day now that he's eating solids. So he gets the milk 3 times a day, but at least once a day I'm giving him a little bit of water. So once he had been sitting there for a bit and I noticed that he wasn't really touching the ravioli, I just picked it up with my fork and tried to feed it to him. He didn't mind it, so far pasta has been one of those things that he will eat. He just needed like a little, you know, a little help in that department, and so I just gave it to him and he ate it like that. And then of that meal, this is how much he ate. So he ate all of the fruit, pretty much all the fruit. He left a little bit of pasta, left a little bit of cheese, but that wasn't too bad in terms of his dinner. And then this is just one more dinner idea: chicken teriyaki, some rice, some broccoli. And that is it, you guys. That is what a typical day looks like for Jackson right now at this point in his eating adventure. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful. Maybe it gave you some ideas, some inspiration, and yeah, more videos like this to come. So thank you for being here. I love you to pieces. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.